So on the topic of org, there are basically a million options, which is of course true for Emacs. And you can be super productive with a very complex setup out of org. But if you are starting out, like if you don't have experience with getting things done, these sorts of methodologies, you don't need to overthink it. Keep it super simple, right? To do and done, org agenda with the dates, time-sensitive stuff should appear on the agenda. And that's all you need to know. Don't try to over-engineer it.
Oh, yeah.
You know? Now let's go to org and do a little bit of the org things. So of course, the markup, that's fine. You can write plain text like this, but this is really Markdown, right? Why would you use org when your Markdown is a thing? So let's focus now on org and let's do some of the things that would be useful to do with org.
Okay.
So I want to send you something, basically a configuration, because I want you to try this.
Okay.
So if you see my Emacs for a second,
you
will just do the path to directory. So I will write it for you because I don't really want you to basically think about this too much. But basically, you can read already what this is, right? So we want to tell org, where do I send you this actually?
You can do it in Signal if you want.
Signal. Okay. Let me just do that. Let's see here. So the idea is we want to tell org that, hey, this is where my org files are. And these files actually feed into the agenda. So because eventually we want to see how we can use org to start organizing our life. We want to basically create a to-do, so a task, and we want to assign a date to that task. And that date should effectively show the task on the agenda when it's relevant to be seen.
Okay. So I add this in the org config, right?
In your configuration, in the init file, exactly.
Okay, so I add it here. I have it in my clipboard. I'm gonna paste.
Yeah, note that I don't see it on my screen anymore.
Oh,
I see my screen. Yeah, okay, good. Very good. And you want to, of course, change the path there.
So this is where my current path, pretty much, right?
I believe it was tilde github org-public.
I'm not gonna have completion here, right?
For the time being, no. Eventually, it's something we will set up.
Hold on. Let me just. I just want to get the path right. So it was what was it? Org something we configured, right?
I believe it was GitHub and then org-public.
Okay, hold on. Org-public.
It was exactly like this. Okay. This is what I remembered. Yeah.
Yep. So I'm just gonna grab this, and I'm just going to Control Y, right?
Very good.
Okay. There we go.
Very good. So put a / at the end just to make it clear that this is a directory. Very good. And this is our directory. And then we say these are our agenda files, basically a list with everything that is in that directory. So you can evaluate all this.
Okay. Do I have an extra? Oh, no, I don't have an extra one.
You can see based on what it is highlighting.
There. Yep,
very good.
There we go.
Very good. Now let's go to our org file. You can save this buffer as well.
Control X, Control S, right? Control X, Control S.
Very nice.
Okay. So it's Control XO. Was that the way?
To switch to the other window. That's correct.
Control XO. Okay. Do you use those defaults? Control XO.
This actually, yes.
Okay.
So yeah, that's easy for me. And there is an option you asked me earlier. Well, can I avoid doing Control C, Control P again? So there is an option to basically make it so that if you do Control XO and you want to continue with Control XO, you can basically do Control XO, O, right? So if you have many windows, you can do like just repeat the last key and then it goes through the windows.
Okay. Got it. Now, what if I want to maximize this window? If I do Control X1, the other one, like is it deleted and I cannot get to it with Control XB or however it was, or?
So what will be deleted is the window, meaning the display of a buffer. But the buffer itself is not deleted unless you go and explicitly kill the buffer. So deleting a window is basically a cheap operation. Like you don't lose your data. You just delete the window and you can create another window. And there is an option, of course, to rewind and bring back a window configuration. But for now, we don't need to know about it. So if you delete a window, you have to create a new window and then show the buffer you want in that window.
Okay, got it. All right.
So we can do the Control X1.
Control
X1.
Okay. And then if I do Control XB, it's going to show up there, right? Control XB.
Control XB is how you can select another buffer. Okay. And basically
Control XB.
So the idea is buffers exist in the memory of Emacs, and basically it's what you really care about. It's your data. And then windows, you just add and remove them as you need.
Okay, got it. All right.
Very good, very good. So let's go now and create a new heading.
At the bottom.
And we will see this at the bottom. Yes, let's create a new heading. Of course, we are barely scratching the surface here. We haven't seen what org is capable of, but let's create a level 1 heading for now. And let's write in all caps TODO, one word, TODO, TODO, like this. And then, for example, meet with Prot or whatever, or learn org or whatever.
Okay, let's do meet with Prot next Sunday. Is that?
It's a good idea. Yes. Let's do a real task. Exactly. Meet with Prot for meeting number 3. Okay. Very good. Very good. So what you want to do now, let's do it with Emacs, just so that you have a record of it in Emacs. Yeah.
With Prot. Okay, so I do MX.
Very good. MX, and then do org schedule.
Org schedule.
And you can see the key binding right away. Control C, Control S. So let's do S as in schedule. So let's do org schedule. Okay. So this interface comes up. You can use Shift and the arrow keys to select the date. You see the date picker there. Or you can just type out the date.
Okay, let's see. Shift and the arrows. Okay, that's useful, I think. How do I know what day is today? Does it show something?
It should be a dot to go to today.
So just dot, right? I just type a dot there.
Yeah. Yes. I believe that should work. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. Very good.
So next Sunday would be here.
That would be there, and you can type out the specific hour. For example, that would be, I don't know, 12 on your end or whatever.
It's 1 p.m. 1 p.m.
So, right, 1 p.m.
Just like that?
So you can write it, yeah, and notice that yellow text afterwards, right? Basically, it takes what you have selected and what you have typed, and it interprets it. So actually, what you have here is this, and it's what it is showing you.
Okay, got it. Okay.
Because you can do something like, of course, you pick the date using the arrows, Shift and the arrows, but you could do something like plus 7D. So 7 days from now at 1 p.m., for example. You could have written something. So, of course, this can do a lot of fancy things like this, but the idea is you pick a date.
Okay.
And then do enter. Let's see how that works.
Okay, scheduled.
Okay. So, very good, very good. So, for the sake of this demo, create another to-do for meeting number 2. Let's imagine we did that to-do before, right? Okay. So let's do another to-do, like meeting number 2 with Prot.
Does it have to be like in a level 1 heading, or?
It doesn't really matter. It's purely stylistic. Like basically, it could be any level. And what matters is within the context of your file, what level makes sense. For example, imagine you have a level 1, which is meetings. And you have a level 2, meetings about Emacs. And then you have a level 3, meetings with Prot. And then you have a level 4, to-do, meeting number 3, right? So anyhow, however you conceptualize it, org would still treat it as a task.
Oh, and does it have to be in a heading, or can you do it just as text?
So tasks are headings. Okay. So you have to do it as a heading like this.
Okay.
So to And the idea with that is very specific, because headings, you have to think of headings in org. This is not clear now. We will see this in the future. But you have to think of headings in org as basically objects that have all sorts of data associated with them. So it's, of course, the text itself, it's the keywords, it's arbitrary metadata, so properties, it's all the text below it. So headings do a lot of things in org.
Okay, you're just looking around and see what I'm missing. I haven't destroyed our file yet, I think.
No, it's still there.
Let me go to the file. Okay, now, how do you do it? Do you personally put like a heading 1 with to-do items, or how do you manage tasks?
So there are two types of tasks, broadly speaking, in how I do it. So one are meetings such as this one. So I have a dedicated file for that, for backup purposes, in which everything is a heading level 1. So meet with Christian, meet with Prot, meet with this other person, right? And everything is a heading level 1. And if we are doing something where I need to have a structure inside of that heading, I will create subheadings with my notes and maybe the code we had or whatever, right? But for my other tasks, for example, let's say I have an appointment with the vet. So I will have another file, which is a massive file, tasks.org, and there will be some top-level heading called tasks with a date. Under that, there will be appointments. And under that, it's where I will put the to-do.
Okay.
So it really depends on what we are talking about. But the point is that org will work with how you want it to organize your day.
Okay, I guess I don't know yet how I want to work with that, but I'll figure it out along the way, and I'll ask you. Okay, so let's do the other task then. So should I do a level 1 as well?
Do it level 1 to do meeting number 2 with Prot. Of course, you could write out like what you saw there scheduled and then the date. You could write that out, but let's do Control-C, Control-S again. Let's do org scheduled.
Control-C, Control-S. Okay.
Very good. And let's pick the 12, like what you have here, and pick an hour for that. Pick it into the future, like, for example, 4 p.m. or 5 p.m.
Okay, let's do 4 p.m. Okay, there.
Enter.
Okay.
Very good. Let's save this. And now let's do Emacs org agenda.
Emacs org agenda.
Org agenda.
Okay.
Very good. Let's do that.
Let's go.
So
Jigalord.
It gives.
Bob donated 25. Thanks for another lesson. Much appreciated.
We have another super chat cool. From Bob. Were you the same Bob that donated the last time? Is this the same bot? The same Bob? I think it is. I'm not exactly sure, but whoever it is, really appreciate it, Bob. Thank you very much. This is just gonna cover Prot session for today. So, yeah, thank you. Appreciate the donation. There's a lot of people that find value in these lessons, I think, because we are starting as complete beginners, right? Is this a downside for you or an upside? Because you're gonna lose a few customers that are not gonna schedule sessions because you're teaching this for free, and it's like, so why do I schedule a session with Prot if he's teaching everything from the beginning? Are there any tricks that you have to keep to yourself so they come to you?
No, there are no tricks. I don't hide anything. The idea is that what you can learn here, you can learn it for free. I also have a lot of videos that, in principle, you could also learn from there. Plenty of articles online. So eventually you can learn everything for free. Like there is a manual, there are all that, depending on how committed you are, of course. But that, for me, from my perspective, doesn't mean that there is no option to have a meeting. Like we could meet to do something else. Like let's imagine now, like, okay, I know everything I have seen on videos, in the manuals, etc. Now let's do some pair programming, for example, or let's discuss matters of workflow. Like you were saying, well, I don't know if I want it to be level 1 or whatever. Like that's a question of workflow. So we may want to discuss that, not at the level of, okay, let me learn Emacs, but at the level of, okay, now that I know Emacs, how would you do this sort of thing? Like, How do you address this problem?
Yeah, I noticed that 3 guys from my Discord, people that are like in my Discord server, scheduled sessions because they were like, man, Prot, the way of teaching is just amazing. So just let me schedule a few sessions. So, it's a win-win, I think. Because, yeah, we're not going to cover
thank you.
everything here, right? We're just barely scratching the surface, right?
Correct. So let's see this thing with the agenda, because it gives you a lot of options here, which of course is overwhelming generally. For now, you just need to know one option, which is the letter A.
Okay.
Let's just do A to get to the weekly view.
A, okay. Okay.
So we get the week. So we only have one task right now. It is telling you this is where you are now and into the future. So we are at 3 p.m. At 4 p.m. you have this scheduled. So it's coming up, right?
Okay.
Right.
That's the end of the day.
So, and that's the end of the week as well. So by default, you don't see further into the future. But let's do V for now. You don't need to remember this, but let's do V.
V as in Victor?
As in Victor, as in view.
V, okay.
And again, lots of options. Select the letter T.
T, where is T?
As in time. It's the
Time.
third from the top. Yeah.
Oh,
Fortnite.
Fortnite. Okay. Fortnite, like the video game. Okay, so T.
Correct. So that actually means 2 weeks. So so you can see here, if you go to the top of the buffer, so you get a 2-week view of your agenda, and all the tasks that are within those 2 weeks will appear in this buffer.
Okay. So this is 2 week then. The T is for 2 weeks, right?
Yeah, if you go to the top, you will see it. It starts from this Monday, exactly. And this is week 1, and then it's week 2. And you can see actually at the top, weeks 28 and 29.
Okay, yeah. That makes sense. Okay, good.
Very good. And this is where you are now. Of course, that's coming up. And then into the future, that's what's coming up in the future.
Okay.
So let's do the final thing for you to learn. So imagine we did our meeting, we finished. You want to mark your task as done. Let's go on to the agenda, onto the meeting for today.
Here.
And when you are in the agenda, exactly, you can visit the file by either doing tab to open it in another window or enter to open it in the current window. Let's do enter.
Okay, enter. Okay.
Very good. So now you are here. You could edit this. Like from the agenda, you get an overview of what you have to do. And from there, you can go to the individual thing. And then here you could write whatever notes you want to write under the heading. You can do whatever you want. As the final thing, when you are done, you do Control-C, Control-T, as in to do.
Okay.
Control-C, Control-T.
It doesn't matter where I am?
Emacs, it doesn't matter for as long as you are under this heading you want to operate on. Control-C, Control-T, or Emacs, or to do.
Okay, let me do Control-X, Control-T. You said, right?
Control-C, Control-T.
Oh, Control-C, Control-T. Oh,
very good. So this is marked as done. So let's generate the agenda again, just to see what we will get with that.
Okay, what was it? Control...
Emacs org agenda. Emacs org agenda.
Emacs. Oh, it was right there. Okay, org agenda. Then A.
And the letter A.
Okay, then T, right? No, I don't remember how to press T.
Yeah, you don't need that anymore. It's for the current one that we want to see because it's the one we changed.
Okay.
So imagine now you have lots of tasks on your agenda, right? For a day. For example, I want to do this, then I want to do that, I want to do the other. Eventually, you want to keep track of what you are doing. Like, did I actually do it? So you can see this is done. The other is still to do. It's still pending, right? So eventually, you use a combination of to do and done with or without timestamps like that, the scheduled. And you can start organize yourself like this. Of course, we are barely scratching the surface. We want to see this in further detail. But these are like kind of the basic tools that we have.
Okay. We're on time. We've been here for 2 hours and a little bit less than 5 minutes. So Prot is midnight for you. I'm not gonna
Correct.
promise that I'll do my homework, but I will at least grab the transcript of all this, paste it into AI, so we get the commands, the highlights, and I'm gonna create a blog post article out of it, so people that are following, can have it somewhere in my blog post. Okay, so
sounds good.
Any final words, final recommendations before we wrap it up, Prot?
Yeah. So on the topic of org, there are basically a million options, which is of course true for Emacs. And you can be super productive with a very complex setup out of org. But if you are starting out, like if you don't have experience with getting things done, these sorts of methodologies, you don't need to overthink it. Keep it super simple, right? TODO and DONE, org agenda with the dates, time-sensitive stuff should appear on the agenda, and that's all you need to know. Don't try to over-engineer it. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
There is those, those memes where there is the IQ curve. And,
yeah. So just stay at the
Keep it simple. Keep it simple.
Yeah. And right in the middle is when you're over-engineering everything, right?
Exactly.